So, 3 weeks ago, I got COVID. True story. Coronavirus positive. This guy.
I thought your Instagram video was so interesting. It was only like 5 minutes, and I just wanted to hear you tell the story about how you got COVID and then just chronologically work up to what it was like. Mm-hmm. And you obviously seem healthy now, but if you could start back there, just kind of educate us.
Being like, I didn't know anyone who had COVID. I knew people who had friends who had COVID, but I actually didn't know really anyone close to me who had it. So I was definitely slipping into the, it's not real. Like, really, you know what I mean? There's a big contingency of people who are like, this is all just a conspiracy.
I remember that in the beginning it was fear of the unknown too, because it just seems so big so fast that people were wondering, is this are people trying to lead with the fear? Yeah, so I remember that.
Yeah, so we actually, as things opened up, every June we go back down to West Palm, where my wife and I fell in love, and where the band started. And I stay with my best friend, and he's got 4 girls, and we have 4 girls, and it's just awesome. And we even, like, this time to be safe, we rented a house. We stayed apart, but we would go to the beach together, and we're like, this is perfect because we can social distance. There's like this part of Jupiter, we go to the beach. It's like no one's out there. We're like, this is great. Well, then right as we're leaving, we spent a couple of weeks down there. My friend is a counselor, works with addicts, and he was still continuing to work. And a guy came in and then said, hey, I got COVID after he had just seen Johnny. So Johnny goes, my buddy, he goes, hey, I'm just letting you know. And this is right as we get home. He goes, I'm getting tested for COVID. Sorry. Because our daughters were all playing on the beach and stuff, you know. And so I'm like, well, there's no way you've got it. You know, it's fine. And then he gets tested. But here's the good news. He comes down positive, and we went immediately and got tested. And I'll be honest, those couple days we were waiting for results, I didn't want to quarantine. I didn't want to do any of that because I was like, come on, what are the odds that we got it? I mean, we were pretty much distant the whole time. Well, one of our daughters comes back positive. Oh. And so we go, oh man, I'm glad we quarantined when we got home, because otherwise that's what really woke me up. Getting it, my family got it, my wife got it, is how you can get it and then not have any idea you have it for a long time.
What's it like?
I was negative.
What's it like getting tested? I just wanted to ask that before we moved on past that. Just curious.
It's really simple to compare it. Just compare it to taking a Q-tip and shoving it up your nostril.
No, thank you.
It's kind of just like that.
Nope.
That I'm joking. That is the test. They take a Q-tip and shove it up.
Well, it looks really uncomfortable. That's why I asked, and probably why a lot of people don't want to do it. But
you know,
it's what's necessary, I guess.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable if you don't like your brain tickled a little bit.
Oh, your poor kids. Oh, that's tough.
Just
get a little brain tickle.
That's not a metaphor either. They literally did.
No, I got tested twice. The second time was, it really depends on who's testing you, because the second time was just a nice general swab. First time it was just, we're going up there, we're striking gold.
How long would you say it was before you had symptoms?
Well, so this is the crazy part, right? So my daughter never had symptoms. So we're sitting here quarantining in our house going, she doesn't have any symptoms. We should, she probably doesn't have it. It's probably a false positive. Well, I'm glad we stuck with, because, you know, they say you got to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then 5 days later, I got symptoms. So it was like 10 days from when I hung out with my buddy. You know, I mean, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And then I came down, first thing, I had a little sore throat, and I was like, is that you, Rona? Rona, is that you? And I going, I don't know. I just got allergies. And then day 3, I wake up in the middle of the night, shivering, fever, chills. And I go, is that you, Rona? Yeah, I'm just in complete denial.
Yeah,
like, no, I don't got it.
What do you do in that moment? What do you compare all that stuff to? Like, oh, this feels like am I getting like a flu or like a bug kind of thing? What does it feel like?
It definitely is just hardcore flu, man. I had fever, chills, on and off, and body aches. Oh, that was the worst part. I was aching. My legs were aching. Whew. For about 5 days that went on.
That's long.
And the worst part, though, day 4, I wake up, can't taste anything. Have you heard this? This is a major symptom. Some people don't have any other symptoms, but they lose their taste and smell. It's not like when you lose your taste and smell when you have a cold, when you can kind of taste something, but you're stuffed up so you can tell you can't taste it properly. Mm-hmm. This is, I'm breathing fine, no smell, no taste, which there were 2 benefits. 1, I didn't have to shower at all. And 2, because I couldn't smell myself. And then 2, that's a joke. And then 2, I just ate like handfuls of spinach the whole time because I couldn't taste anything. So I was just eating salad.
You use that as an opportunity to get right.
Get the greens
with your veggies and stuff. So it hurts. What's the you can't taste and smell, but does it like the sore throat and the body aches? Would you say it's like worse than a flu? Like when it's full tilt, when it's full corona? Very similar?
So here's the deal. And then, so I finally get better, right? About day 10. I mean, this was like a 10-day flu. So when I usually get the flu, we're talking 3 days tops.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it was way worse than the normal flu. And then I had like, for the next 2 weeks after that, it just felt like I'd just done 100 push-ups. It wasn't like people describe heaviness of chest. I was like, oh, just my chest feels weird. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. My wife, same thing. She had it a little less intense than I did, but hers was still worse than normal flu. But then here's the crazy part. We're pretty sure, so only our first daughter tested positive. And then I went and got a test weeks later to confirm I had it because I knew people would go, well, did you have a positive test? And I'd go, no. And they're like, well, how do you know you had it? So I like went to get a test. I was trying to get a negative test so that my family would come hang out with me again because they're like, we can't hang out with you until you have a negative test. And so I got a positive test. And here's the crazy part about that. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping all around.
No, it's good.
This has been really tough for a lot of people. Like, so a couple of my cousins end up getting COVID just this past month. Can't go back to work because he keeps registering positive tests. Because at least official that was assigned to my case from the city of Nashville, who called me every other day for 2 weeks. That they do that in Nashville if you get a positive test. And they said you can actually register a positive test for up to 6 months, but it doesn't mean you're contagious.
Oh, that's like life-wrecking.
Yeah. And so you got all these people who are like, I'm not contagious. The CDC says if it's been 10 days and you haven't had any symptoms for 3, you're not contagious anymore. But the general employer's understanding is they can't risk it. They're going, hey, if you come into the workplace and infect anybody, we got to shut everything down. So until you have 2 negative tests, you're not coming back to work.
What do they tell you now as far as are you could you yourself get sick again, or it's too soon to tell, or that kind of thing?
So the general, I read a ton. I mean, I was sitting home for 10 days sick, and all I did was read articles about coronavirus, mostly because I was concerned my smell and taste were never going to come back. Bro, it took a full month until my taste and smell were all the way back.
Good grief. Good grief.
I mean, I lost so much weight because I was eating healthier than I've ever eaten in my life. The general consensus is, wait, what was the question?
Just what they tell you now as far as can you get sick again, or if they have a perspective at all about, I mean, nothing's conclusive, but just somebody who's had it. I'm just curious what they told you.
Yes, they said you definitely probably, this is really the words, you definitely probably have antibodies for a couple months, but there isn't any conclusive evidence as to how long those last. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. My understanding from what I've read and what I've been told is that, but my T cells have now learned how to fight the virus. So if I were to get it again, it would most likely be less severe because my T cells have learned how to fight the virus. So even though I may lose the antibodies, which keeps me from getting it, my body is now better tuned to fight it the next time.
Good night. Good freaking grief.
You would hope that they would just be like, forever and always, you're good. I'm so curious about, like, they say that it's so bad in the chest. Did you ever have a hard time catching your breath, or you didn't really have that, just the heaviness?
Yeah, for about 1 or 2 days, I would take in a big breath, and then it would just make me cough. And so, like, day 12, I've been a runner my whole life, so I got right back to running as soon as I could. And the first couple of days were really tough. So I definitely understood, okay, if I had some kind of breathing lung issues, this would be no bueno. But here's the weird, who I probably got it from. He has asthma, and he was fine. So it's just, and then our kids, who we assume all got it, none of them had any symptoms. Zero. I think one of our daughters had a 1-degree fever one night, and we're like, "Is that you, Rona?" You know. And everyone I know who has kids, I mean, I know there are exceptions to it, but it really is true. Generally, kids, it's like if you're under 10, I mean, you don't even know you had it.
That's such a relief right now, though, with a lot of kids in school. Like, that just really feels good to know that kids handle this so much better.
Yeah.
Unfairly, my kids, I assume, have all already had it, so I would be more comfortable with them going to school. I'm from what I'm gathering, most people are hesitant to go back to school because they're worried for someone in their family who's compromised, or the older teachers, or But yeah, for the kids, I mean, you can look at the data confirms this, that kids are way less susceptible to this thing. So
well, you did this cool thing when you made it public, man, and you're just such a centered dude that I feel like you're able to, like, level the playing field when you speak into anything. Do you remember you spoke to the two groups of people, the people who are like, oh, this is a bunch of hype, and then the people who are going around just living in fear? What would you say to both those parties, like you said before?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing I would say to Republicans and Democrats, right? Like, can we agree that some of your ideas are good and some of them are bad? And in the same way, if there's a whole group of people, some of my friends on Instagram they are ready to debunk this whole thing. I mean, they are like, this is 100% a government conspiracy. And I go, hey, I got it. It's definitely real, definitely worse than the normal flu, definitely weird how you don't know you have it for a long time. Which I think, if this coronavirus was like, you get infected and then 2 days later you have symptoms, I don't think there would be as much mystery around it. But it's that incubation period. So you got that group of people who are like, forget masks, forget distancing, like, this is all a hoax. And to them, I would say, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was hyped up more than it actually is, but I got it, so it's real. And then there's some people I know who are cowering in their houses, shaking in fear, because they've only been told that they're going to die if they get this thing. And I want you to know, I got it, my wife got it, my kids, at least one of them definitely got it, and we all made it. And my friend made it, and I know a lot of people now who've made it, and we can fight it. So let's not give in to permission to not serve the public, right? Like we like to think that it's just about me and my relationship with God and my freedoms. We're connected. We affect each other. And then let's not also give in to fear and not believe that God's love is not going to be there for us in the future, you know?
That's good.
Look at this.
Anxiety. I just read this quote the other day. Anxiety is imagining a future without the love and grace of God.
Get after it. You read that?
I don't know who needed
Isn't that good?
but I did. That's good.
You're on vacation. You can go. This was really good. I really liked it. I could listen to you talk about it a long time, but it was really good.
Thanks, CJ.
Yeah, man.
But I could listen to you for a long time, but I gotta go. Shut up.
We're just glad that you made it.
Yeah.
We're so glad you're healthy and grateful that you would share it with us.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
He looks like the healthiest guy.
And I ran 6 miles up a mountain today.
You know what it is? The spinach.
Take that, Rona.
It's the spinach.
It is.
I think it's the North Carolina air, CJ.
There you go. That's
Just
right.
does magical.
All right. Well, you take care of the Carolinas. We'll take care of WayFM. And thanks again, man. Have a great trip.
Thanks, Mike.
Love you guys.
Love you back, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
You, dude.